Welcome to my home. I'm Jean. Welcome to Bye Bye Loneliness, Chat and Collage. And this is video number 21. If you were here for video 20, we worked on a card size collage. And this is what we worked on in that video. And I didn't change anything. So it's just the same as it was. Got the envelope. This is from a nonprofit organization card that came in the mail. And I used it to make a collage card. And also, I've been reading poetry and telling stories a little bit. And today, I bought these stack of cards. And I want to say, I'm not promoted or affiliated with anything I use here. Just want to make that clear. And if you're wondering about my t-shirt, I get them from Life is Good. And this says, come together, right? Meow. And I guess that's like cats dressed up like that band, the Beatles. But anyway, these wild cards, I think her name is Rachel Martin, and she's on NPR. And she has a guest come in, and she has these wild cards that usually, have an interesting question, and you can hear what the person says. So everyone was saying, I want a pack of wild cards. So they were for sale, and I bought it for my husband for his birthday in March. And I picked one this morning and said, when have you experienced awe? A-W-E. Here in Colorado, and this is where I live, the skies are big. And sometimes we have the most amazing clouds. And if I'm driving on a higher part of the roadway, you just get this expanse of sky and clouds and puffy and straight across clouds and little ones. It puts me in awe. And I have a lot of windows in my house. So I like to watch the clouds. That's my awe. And also, what I did this week, because this winter I have been so involved in learning how to make videos and demonstration how to do collages and coming up with ideas. And what I've done with my collage cards in the past few years is I send them to an organization I'm not affiliated with, called Love for Our Elders. And I hadn't been doing it. So I went on their site and they had a whole list for April, and I sent out 5. And then there were 7 more. So what I did was I got out my pack of cards that come in the mail, my junk mail cards from organizations that would like me to send them a donation. And what I did was I took out my calendars. I get calendars in the mail too. And I put covers on all these cards. And that's what we'll work on today. I'll pick one out and I'll show you how. When my intention is that I'm going to send the collage to someone at the Love for Our Elders list, I might make them a little different. What I like to do is texture, like I have buttons, I have feathers, and things like this. Because some of these people are in their 90s. And doing that, and I also thought a good idea would be to send them a little card with the link to our little community here. And maybe they would like to watch as well. Poetry time. All righty. And I can also show you, this is the letter I would send to each of the people on the list for Love for Your Elders. And I put at the bottom, you are loved, because on that site, if you go to it, you'll find that, and it's loveforyourelders.org, that like a granddaughter or great-granddaughter or something will write a little blurb about their grandfather or great-grandfather. and say, you know, they just had a knee surgery or something happened and they're feeling lonely. You know, and they would love to feel that, you know, people haven't forgotten them. So that's my letters that I'll be sending them. And I even put one of my thumbnails, the one where I sang the poem to the tune of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. That's video number 17. And a picture of me with my cat Hannah and some sunflowers. So that's how I do that. If you feel like that would give you motivation to make a collage card. And here we go. Da-da-da, ta-da! On stage, ready to read. This poem I wrote last year. I was in a poetry class last summer and I got inspired. I wrote most of my poems that I've read for you guys. Not all of them, but a couple. It's called Minutes to Spare, T-O-O. I thought I heard dawn blending a smoothie, scratching on the screen of daybreak, coloring the Roman moon with tiaras of yips and yows, chasing knife-edge stars sparkling above tall iced tea, glasses of cool breezes, shrieks and growling close calls. Dawn's wispy webbed feet flounced from treetop to fence post, leaning against the Big Dipper, Jupiter, and rolling fields cut low, pasted on the mustard seed of Earth's ebony hall, turning on one-way streets into calm and stormy seas, and with only minutes to spare, crabapple trees drench the grass in strawberry cream scented butter, swatches of black, gray, and red fur wafted across patios, and what was left stepped into caves of bushes curling onto leafy placemats. Under the evaporated puddle of a minute to spare, the magic wand of a rooster's galaxy-sized speakers rolled out the heavy metal spotlight of morning's wide stage, awakening neighbors, strangers, criminals, espresso machines, and dogs who needed to pee. Its Super Bowl half-time, jaw-dropping lyrics opened creaky doors for cats named Fluff, Sweet Pea, and Mango, rubbing against the ankles of those who planted and watered the bushes. And my cat, Dawn, thick white fur, cool and smooth as wet marble, enjoyed a can of fishy food I set on her placemat. Thank you. I like that one. I'm kind of, with my poetry, I'm kind of the same like with my collages. I love them. I love them all. Although with the poetry, I got to work on them sometimes. All right, gang. All right, everybody. Let's get set up. I put a pillow on my lap is how I do it. I make all my collages on the couch. So if you want to do that, you can be comfortable. Get a clipboard if you want to use a clipboard. And take out your magazines and just start cutting out images. I'm going to use a larger board since I'll be doing a demonstration for you all. And I picked out a bunch of images. I don't know which ones I'm going to use. And I usually don't fly by the seat of my pants this much. I put a pillow behind my back too, so I kind of do that. And I tip down the camera onto the workstation. So here we go to the workstation, turn it this ways, everybody can see. Oh, why don't I ever get it quite right the first time? The little coffee table legs are getting in the way. Okay. Bear with me. A little mercy. A little mercy. Okay, I think you can see it. Yeah, we're all right here. Am I a perfectionist or what? I just want you guys to be able to see okay. All right. So I got all these cards. Which one do I want to work with to send out? This one. I kind of want to work with a bigger one. Either this one or this one. Okay. So I can work with that one that's goes up and down, or this one that's a horizontal. And this one I put stuff inside too because they had words inside, as well as this one. And I just found some pictures and pasted it. I still have room to put my name and hello and that kind of thing. And this was a Christmas card, so I might want to find an image and glue stick it over here, or they won't care. I don't think they'll care. Okay, let's do the one with the rainbow. And I get these in the mail too from different organizations, these dream catchers. So I use the feathers. And there we go. Okay. And I cut off a little bit of feather. I have buttons. Put the envelope aside. And I went through and picked out a whole bunch of images because after we're done with the video, I'm going to keep going. And then I'll be all ready to send out the cards by the end of April. Okay, so I like to, this is my situation if you haven't been here before. This is my situation for how I keep my scissors. I use this just kind of to lift things. I really don't use it for cutting. And all my glue sticks. There. You know, a baggie. Put these over here. I have a cup full of colored pencils. Sometimes they come in handy. And put this over here and this over here out of the way. And when I glue, I put, you know, just scrap pieces of white paper down on my board so my board doesn't get all sticky. All right. So I can put something big on here, like this toucan. And I thought about that. Something like this. If I put something like that, let's move the buttons out of the way for now. And we can all kind of be part of the playtime here of picking stuff out. It's fun once you get a pile of images and you just kind of pick out what you think might look good. And I'm still worried you can't see. And I'll put aside things like, and I did have a piece of material. So do I want to put a piece of material? Because that could be something fun for whoever gets the card to feel. Got another bird. So I was looking for birds. There's a bird that might work. An airplane. I like that. Because there are 2 men on this list. It's not just women who are living into their 90s. I cut out some coins. Like sometimes in magazines they have those advertisements with coins. A teacup. If you've been in watch my videos before, I have a tea set like that. So I took a picture of it. Then maybe I could put this like scene of a cityscape. So it looks like someplace in Europe or something like that. See, that's how I do it. I just play around with the images. I have this car with a duck driving. I could switch that out and put the car. I kind of like that because that's sort of my style. Or do we want to go with a train coming through? I like that. You know, and if I'm thinking about sending it to one of the men on the list, I might go more like this style because, you know, instead of flowers and kittens or something like that, put the Big Ben over here. Okay, so it's starting to come together. To me, this is starting to come together. And I'm like, oh, that works. And something like that. That would go more by the water, but it doesn't have to. It can go here. All kinds of animals, wine glasses. Didn't cut them out yet. And another coin. I'm kind of getting into the coin thing. And what about the feather? Do I want to put a feather here? So I might have to move the coins out of the way. I could put a feather coming up here. And I have this tiger, something like that. There's a penguin, puffins, basketball. I don't think anyone on the list said they were into basketball. Or I could go for like this puffin in flight or some kind of bird in flight. But I'm kind of, if I have the train, maybe I want a bird instead of having a train and the airplane in the same collage. So that might be cool for, you know, one of the guys on the list. There's the Big Ben or something. Here, a church. Church might be good for sometimes on the list. It'll be described that, you know, they're very Christian or they go to a Catholic church or something like that. So yeah, that's what I do when I'm doing my collages specifically for love for your elders. I'll think about what they put on there that they have their interest in. Some are gardeners and all this kind of thing. I have a old-timey telephone booth. So I think you get the idea. And a little flower here if I was sending it to one of the women. And I haven't decided yet what I want to do, but I have a good idea. I think I've picked out the ones I want to use for one of the guys. Bring back that car. I think that's funny. And I also had this. If I wanted to go more, if someone was interested in baseball, I have the baseball players. And I just look and I look, because after I get a big mob of images like this, I'm like, what's down at the bottom? I forgot. I have this guy with the goofy hat. I've used him before. I have a Statue of Liberty, might be a good one. We're very patriotic. A bigger one is the guy with the hat, so I'm going to pick that out. Some of the people have, you know, dogs and cats, so maybe I want that over here. And that's going to be there. So I have a pile. I cut these out. I think I'll send the flowers to some of the women on the list. And that's how it goes. That's a frog. I don't even remember that. Got some birds. So I will work on that before we meet again on video number 22. I have buttons. And it's not too hard to put buttons down. You just put a glob of glue stick on one side. Usually it's flat on one side. You just put it around, just like the circle things. So maybe I'll do that instead of the circles. I found these at Art Parts. We have a place in Boulder called Art Parts that people just, I guess, just bring in their art things they're not using. So I go there and sometimes and find all kinds of goodies. It's like the home ship for people who like to do crafts and things like that. So I'm going to put this aside and bring back the camera up and do a little twirl with the camera again. Tilt up. Here we are. I'm so glad you came. Thanks for listening to my poetry. Write in the comments if you like to write anything, if you have any questions. And I feel a little less lonely, and I'm going to work on some collages. And I'll put the information about loveforourElders.org in the comments section. So have a good day. Bye. See you next time.